Well, if you guys are big fans of the Yoshi wrestling scene, you're in luck as always. This is what this episode is all about. So, we're going to be doing four reviews from four different promotions on this one. The first one is from Marvelous from the recent event back on April 10th in Shinjuku FACE. This one has, of course, a tag team match featuring how do I say, a battle between two promotions, Marvelous versus MARIGOLD. As you know, recently Marvelous talent went to their territory, but it lost. But the real question is, could history repeat itself, or would Marvelous, of course, gain the upper hand? But the main event, of course, features the final boss, Meiko Satomura, facing off, of course, Takumi Iroha. That's going to be an epic match. And then we move on, of course, with day two from Stardom in Sakae. As you know, we got some preliminary matches involving the Yokohama event on the 27th of April. So the real question is, where do we go from there? And then, of course, we have Marigold as it continue with more of the Spring Victory series. But this particular day that took place on the 12th, well, this was, of course, features the Superfly Championship defended, but it also features the last match of Bozilla. As you know, in a recent update, Bozilla is going to be making her return home to Germany. So this will be the last time for a while until we see her again. And then finally, of course, we have Oz Academy at their Korakuen Hall event, Battle Big Bonus. This one features all the championship matches, of course, on the line. The semi-main event is the tag team belts. Koguma and Ozuki defend their belts against Kohaku and Subusa Kuragaki, of course. So the real question is, will Koguma and Ozuki actually prevail, or will the challengers will? But the main event features, of course, Ryo Mizunami defending the Openweight Championship against Sayuri Ano. Will this be the opportunity to Sayuri Ano to obtain a belt that has eluded her for a couple years? That's a very good question to follow. And then, of course, we cap up our episode, of course, with some news updates to give you guys updates on what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as, of course, what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next one or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, got do Nagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, enough with the pleasantries. So, it's time to, of course, fight to the death. Well, not really, but you know what I mean. So anyway, let's begin with our first review. And this one is, of course, as I said, it's all about the Yoshi Wrestling with Marvelous. Alright, Marvelous. This was back on the 10th of April in Shinjuku FACE. Now, we're going to go through every match as possible to make it clear what's been happening. Now, our first match is tag team action, and I have to say this one is a very important one. Unagi Sayaka teams up with Sora Ayame, and they face against Senka Atsuki and Shikayo Nagashima. Now, those who know this, Sayuri Oniyama and Senka Atsuki are currently, of course, the rookies of Marvelous. They're still on the learning curve. But what I like about this match is, you all know recently, not too long ago, Sora Ayame uh, had requested a match against Unagi Sayaka, who she, in fact, admired and idolized, who she actually is a fan of. And she got her one-on-one match against her not too long ago. And I think Unagi felt pleased that she has learned a lot of things, and now they're teaming up. Basically, I would say that Unagi felt pleased knowing that someone who looked up to her is willing to fight alongside with her and maybe learn some things. And I think that was a pretty good thing. But the one thing I think this match tells us, okay, who of the rookies will prevail? Last time there was a unsatisfaction of one. I think it was Akatsuki, who in fact was not satisfied how she won the last time against her. But, or was it that? But yeah, that's how it ended. But however, Ayame was the one who surprised us when she applied, of course, the inside cradle, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Now, I don't know exactly what Unagi said to Ayame, but it seems like she's happy, and she's probably happy that she's going to see a lot of good things with her. I don't know if they will team up more often, but I would like to see that, because, as you know, we had like her Tam Nakano is taking in Sayaka Kurara as her protege. I think I wouldn't be surprised if, of course, Unagi is doing the same thing too, which I think it will be a good learning thing for her as well. So we'll see. Our next match is singles action. We have Maria versus Isuki Aoki. Nothing too special about it, but Maria has grown significantly, to become, of course, a single wrestler as well. I mean, we can say that she specialized as a tag team, but this was different. But unfortunately, this match ended in a 15-minute time limit draw, so nobody won, nobody lost. So disappointing. I'm sure here in the U.S., we don't want to see those, but that's how things happen down in Japan. Our next match, it's our only male exhibition match. We have the resident Leo Asaka taking on a guy named Chango. I'm not sure what promotion he's from, but however, at some point of this match, Chango actually pulled some shenanigans that allowed him to pick up the win. First, he clogged the referee. Then he used the cold spray on Leo, and just like that, he put him in a power bomb. 1, 2, 3, it was over. And of course, once again, Chango decided to clock on the referee. I mean, someone ought to kick his ass out of the place anyway. But yeah, that's how it ended. Now, before anything else, we had a surprise visit from Mio Momono, who was doing a promo. Well, apparently she is helping promote, as you probably know. We are now in the month of April, and next month will be marked as the next anniversary show for the late Hana Kimura. And of course, promoting the event is none other than her mother, Kyoko Kimura. So basically, there's that. So things are now being set for that. I wouldn't be surprised if anybody from Marvelous will probably be making their appearance to pay tribute to Hana Kimura. And recently, Unagi Sayaka talked to Kyoko about having one of the Tokyo Cyber Squad thingies in her possession. But yeah, so we'll see what happens from there. Now, our next match is a Marvelous versus MARIGOLD. As you know, recently, Marvelous made an invasion towards MARIGOLD during an event. And now, recently, there was a match where, of course, talent for Marvelous went to the MARIGOLD territory. They, in fact, lost. And now, MARIGOLD is in their territory, in Marvelous. So, representing MARIGOLD, we have Hummingbird and, of course, the current Superfly champion, Victoria Yuzuki, taking on Eihausen and Riko Kawahara. So, I have to say, this was a match where you probably ask yourselves, will MARIGOLD pick up the momentum to represent their promotion? I mean, I would say yes, but surprisingly, this match ended with Eihausen actually pulling up a surprising win when she put Hummingbird in a crucifix. And of course, during the post-match promo, she was happy for what she did, that she brought victory in the name of Marvelous. But however, Miku Anu, I don't know the translation, but it sounded to me it's like you're saying, "Don't kid yourself, kid. You just got lucky." Yeah, like that sort of thing. It felt like that's what it was, despite that it didn't seem like what she was saying, but it felt that way. But I wouldn't be surprised if Aya Hausen is in the match against Miku Anu, who is a force to be reckoned with in Marigold. But we'll see how things will go from here on out. But as of right now, let's keep moving forward to our last match, which is the main event. We have Takumi Iroha versus Meiko Satomura. So as you all know, Meiko Satomura will be retiring this month, and this is one of those important matches. But you know Meiko Satomura would put everything on the line in this match, and I wasn't too sure how this was going to go. I think many of you may have thought Meiko Satomura might have won this one, but nope. Takumi Iroha did it by pulling off the running three, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. And then of course we did see what's her during the post match promo, Takumi was talking to, of course, Meiko, and then of course Shigusa Nagoya was also there too. So as you know, Nagoya and Satomura knew each other for a long time. So we'll see how things will progress. But Takumi felt great that she actually pulled off the impossible. I think she might have thought she would never beat her, but she actually did. So as of right now, we are done with Marvelous. So let's move on, I believe, with Stardom. Okay, as you know, we are in day 2 with Stardom in Sakae. I think hopefully I pronounced it right. If not, there we go. This took place recently on the 12th of April. As you probably know, there are some preliminary matches involving for the Yokohama event on the 27th of April. So we'll get to that one by one. Now, our first match, we have EXV members Rian and Waka Tsukiyama taking on Tabitha and Starlight Kid. Now, it's interesting to see Tabitha and Starlight Kid teaming up, but recently we have seen Tabitha teamed up with members of Neo Genesis. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Tabitha becomes the first Mexican to become part of a Japanese faction, despite that she'll probably go back to Japan, to Mexico at some point. But I say she is a perfect fit. But she's very impressive, not to mention she pulled off a pretty good win, applying a submission on Rian, and Rian, of course, had no choice but to tap out. Our next match, we have Fukigen Death versus Lady C. Now, Lady C, as you know, the only advantage she has is that she is the tallest girl we know. I think she's like, what, 5'8" or something? Fukigen Death maybe 4'11" or so. But anyway, you know that Fukigen Death is a very much of a high speedster. She could use her speed against her. But the one thing that was surprising is how this was ended. Now, those who've seen Fukigen Death, she actually uses the O'Connor roll as her signature. However, somehow Lady C was able to counter it by pinning Fukigen Death, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. She picked up a pretty good win. And of course, Fukigen Death throws a temper tantrum. Yeah, she's pissed with the referee. She's pissed that Lady C pinned her. So that sort of thing. I mean, I don't think Lady C cares if she's pissed, but I think she's just happy that she pinned her at all, you know. So it was like a miracle. Our next match, we have the rookies, Akira Korigane and Yuria Him. They take on, of course, EXV members Maika and Hanako, known as, of course, my high mate. So you probably can guess how this match was going to roll up. I mean, of course, this was going to end with Hanako and Maika winning the match, but it was in fact Hanako with her signature submission move onto Yuria, and just like that, Yuria had no choice but to tap out. Our next match, we have a three-way tag team match. We have Devil Princess from Hate, consistent of Azusa Inaba and Rina, taking on Cosmic Angels, Sayaka Kurara and Yuna Mizumori versus Momokogo and Saya Ida. Now, of course, when it comes to hate, you all know their dirty tactics that they like to do things, distract for freeze. And of course, Rina has been using this whip recently in order to win their matches. But however, it was Saya Ida who picked up the win when she applied a very strong lariat onto Azusa Inaba. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next match, this is a God's Eye showdown, and this is a preliminary match. As you all may know, here's who we have. We have Tomoka Inaba and Hina teaming up. They take on Rana Yagami and Shuri. Now, for those who know this or not, Hina will defend the Future of Stardom Championship against Rana Yagami. So you can say this is a preliminary match. But the real question you ask yourselves, who will get the momentum going all the way to Yokohama, which is a very good question. I mean, Hina has proven time. I mean, she is now stepping outside of her, trying to shine up more like her sisters, but she eventually was failed to do so when, of course, Yagami applied a buzzsaw kick, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. And of course, during the post-match promo, Yagami had some words to say to Hina, telling her, of course, that she'll be the one to dethrone her. But we will see what happens until then when we get to Yokohama. Now, our next match, we have the members of Hate, more consistently Raka and Natsuko Tora, taking on Stars, Hanan and Mayu Iwatani. Now, of course, it's no secret that Hate hates Stars, and they would do anything in their humanly possible to pick up the win. However, Hanan, as you know, she's been on a frustration mode due to her feelings towards Azuki. She was able to pick up the win when she applied the 17 on Raka, and just like that, it was over. Just 1, 2, 3. However, of course, in the post-match, Hate cannot stand winners, so they just beat the crap out of them. Our next match, we have, of course, Cosmic Angels, Natsupoi, and Tam Nakano, together known as Meltier, taking on Konami and Saya Kamitani from Hate, also known as Psych Queen. Now, of course, this is another preliminary match. For those who do know, there is a title match taking place for the red belt in the Yokohama on the 27th. And, of course, this is one of those matches where we will pay attention. But as always, like I said, when it comes to Hate with their dirty tactics, they always play that with the distractions. And then, of course, Konami shows up and sprays the black spray onto the face of Tam Nakano, resulting for Kamitani to pick up the win, applying the Frankensteiner. And of course, during the post-match promo, Kamitani saying that this will be the final time they will ever see each other until the 27th, knowing. And then she tells her fans that say goodbye to her because that will be the last time they see her, but we just don't know yet how this is going to roll up. But that's something we will wait. Now, I do know there is another Stardom show. I haven't seen it yet. Hopefully that'll be in the next episode. But for now, we'll leave things as it is and move on with our next review. And I believe that is, of course, Marigold. Okay, Marigold, we continue with day 10 of the Spring Victory Series, and this took place on the 12th of April in Shinkiba First Ring. Now, I did stated this will be the last match where it features Bozilla, who will be making her way back to Germany. Now, she'll be part of the main event, so we'll get to that. Now, our first match is a three-way. We have Riara versus Nagisa Tachibana versus Ryoko Sakimura. Now, smart money would think in some capacity, you think Tachibana and Sakimura are the most, least experienced. Riara has maybe a year or two of experience than those two. So you probably think in some capacity, if you follow their exact years they've been active as pro wrestlers, that plays out. No, but to the surprise to many fans, it was Sakimura who picked up the win when she applied a submission onto Riara, and just like that, it was over. And on a note, this is her first win in Marigold. So, not bad, and not too shabby. I have to say, she really did pull through. Of course, it's part of the development. We have to be clear on that as well. If you guys learn what pro wrestling is all about, not just watching the matches, but understanding the wrestlers themselves. Now, our next match, we have tag team action. We have Yuki Minami. She teams up with Chika Goto, taking on Megaton and Gigaton, which is a very unusual thing. Recently, as you all know, Megaton has been giving so much grief after recent losses with Darkness Revolution, and now she teams up with Gigaton. But unfortunately, once again, at certain moments, Megaton keeps picking up the wrong losses. So it was Yuki Minami who picked up the win by pinfall. Now, it's not Yuki Minami's first win. The first one she ever did was against the other Minami, Komomo. So basically, that tears it out. And I wouldn't be surprised if Darkness Revolution is like, see, you can't even win a match. Next up, we have tag team action, and this is a preliminary match for all of you, those who don't know. We have, of course, Siri Yamaoka, who is one half of the tag team champions with Nana Takahashi. She teams up with Mirai. They take on Kizuna Tanaka and Utame Ishida. Those who do know, Mirai is the challenger for the MARIGOLD World Championship against Utami. So that tells it all. So I think many of you may question who will pick up the momentum in this match. To our surprise, it was, of course, Mirai who picked up the win by applying a submission onto Kizuna Tanaka. And, of course, Kizuna had no choice but to tap out. Now, our next match, this is our semi-main event. We have the MARIGOLD Superfly Championship. Victoria Yuzuki defends her championship against Rhea Seto. Not too long ago, of course, Rhea Seto picked up a huge win, and she made the opportunity to cash in her chance to challenge for this belt, and that's exactly what she did. And of course, many of you think that Victoria Yuzuki probably will lose the match. No, I didn't think so, because she still had a lot to show for, and she was able to do that when she applied a crucifix onto Rhea Seto, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Now, our main event, we have an 8-woman tag team match. First up, we have Darkness Revolution, consistent of Misa Matsui, Chiaki, Nagisa Nozaki, and of course Bozilla. They take on who was it? Oh yeah, Irina Yamanaka, Hummingbird, Natsumi Shozuki, and Miku Ano. So basically, you can tell how this was going to go. I mean, of course, when it comes to Darkness Revolutions, you all know they're not similar as Hate, but they do have like the same kind of like trying to do whatever it takes to pick up their wins. But they took them outside to soften them up. But in the end, it was Bozilla who picked up the win with the sit-down power bomb onto Hummingbird, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. However, of course, this match would not end, of course, without everybody in Darkness Revolution try to say some words to Bozilla, you know, saying how much they're going to miss her and thanking her for being part of their lives. And of course, and that's a real touching thing. I'm sure Bozilla's touched that she was a good friend and a good person to hang around with these people. And I think that's a good thing. We still don't know if if she ever will come back. Rasi Ogawa did mention, of course, on his social media that he hopes that Bozilla could join a prominent promotion, mostly reference WWE. But now he said that he has to look for a new monster. So good luck with that. So we'll see how that rolls up. But as of right now, I think we are done with MARIGOLD. Let's move on with, of course, our last review, Oz Academy. Okay, our last review, Oz Academy, and this is the Battle Big bonus that took place on the 13th of April, of course, in Korakuen Hall. This is one of their bigger events that they put out. Now, it opened up, of course, with a championship match, and this is for the Oz Academy Pioneer Championship, which was recently been vacant. However, this one turned out to be a three-way match. We have Kakeru versus Isuki Aoki versus Ram Kaicho. However, in this match, freaking Kakeru's buddy, the dirty cop, out of nowhere, decided to get involved, try to soften up, of course, uh, Ram Kaicho and all this, try to beat her down. I mean, someone had to beat him up, but apparently Ram Kaicho in this match made the biggest mistake of her career when she decided to, well, she was intending to throw ectoplasma onto Kageru, but Kageru actually ducked and hit Asuki Aoki, and then of course it was Kageru who picked up the win with the suplex, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, she won the match, and she's the brand new Oz Academy Pioneer Champion. So just like that, it was over. Now our next match, we have Momoka Hanazono versus Coyote Yonayama, two best high speedsters in their own way. I mean, I always say, as you guys know this, I talk about Momoka Hanazono, she is a terror in the ring. But Coyote Yonayama, she is very creative of what she does. She tries to do things very differently. So you ask yourselves which one of these two will walk out. Me, I was banking, of course, Momoka as always. But however, out of nowhere, Kairi Yonayama picked up the one with the victory roll, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over. Next up, we had a very interesting 8-woman tag team match. We have Zones, Rina Yamashita, Hiroyo Matsumoto, and Mask Hanahana. They take on Tomoka Inaba, Unagi Sayaka, Akino, and Jaguar Yokota. So I wasn't too sure where this is gonna play out in some capacity. I know that Akino and Unagi have teamed up on various occasions. Seems like they're forming a faction of some sorts, but I was like not too sure, nothing too special about this one. But it was Akino who picked up the win onto Yamashita, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. Next up, we have tag team action. We have Sonoko Kato. She teams up with Meiko Satomura, taking on Shikuza Nagayo, and of course the boss lady of Oz Academy, Mayumi Ozaki. So basically, you know how this was going to throw out. However, when it comes to Mayumi Ozaki, she's also a dirty player. Basically, she likes to use chains, throw the spit the red mist. That played out, but however, it was Sonoka who was able to pick up the win onto Shikayo Nagashima when she applied the crucifix, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, it was over. So, just like that. Now, our next match, this is another championship match. The Oz Academy tag team belts, Kohaku and Tsubasa Kuragaki, they challenge for these belts against, of course, FWC, better known as, of course, from Stars, Koguma Nozuki, coming from Stardom. Don't know how many defenses they make so far. I mean, they obtained these belts, and of course, Kohaku has been looking for an opportunity to win these belts. She had no success recently with another partner, but this time it was completely different. But however, I think she had to contend more with Koguma, who is a bit more sneaky person who knows how to find. Well, they call her the high-speed genius for a reason. She knows how to figure wins out to pick up the win. But it was Kohaku who was able to pick up the win by pinning Koguma, and just like that, 1, 2, 3, over, and brand new tag champions, just like that. Now, our main event, this is for the Oz Academy Openweight Championship between Sayori Anu and Ryu Mizunami. Now, for those who know this, let me give you guys some backstory about Sayori Anu when it came to this belt. A couple years ago, there was a bit of a controversy when it came to Sayori Anu challenging for this belt a couple years ago when it was in possession of Mayumi Ozaki. Many people thought that Sayori Anu should have won that match if it wasn't for the dirtiness of Ozaki. So that kind of plays out. But you ask yourselves, would give her the position now to challenge for this belt? Well, it was Akino who actually pulled it off for her. Now, those who know this, Akino and Ryu Mizunami used to be friends until they no longer chatted. But for whatever reason, Akino felt, hey, Sayuri Anu, it's your time now to step up. You have been eluded for this belt for the last time. It's time for you to finally do it. So Akino kind of stepped up to be her, how do I say, her spokesperson. When she pinned Ryu Mizunami, she tells her, "I'm giving my opportunity, whoever's for that challenge for that belt, Mizunami, and I'm giving it to Sayori Anu." So she gave it to her, not because she wanted to. She did because she knows Sayuri Anu has never won this belt at all. So this was the one belt that had eluded her for years, and that kind of plays out too well. Now, of course, Mizunami, we know she will not give this belt up easily, no matter what Sayuri Anu throws at her. But luckily, somehow, of course, it was Sayuri Anu who applied a bridge and finally won this belt. And of course, celebrating with her was none other than Unagi. Those who know this, Unagi and Sayuri Anu kind of became on and off friends in some capacity due to the fact they're both connected with Tam Nakano. So that kind of sets it up. But the real question I think we ask ourselves, who will be the opponent? But I think I know who she wants. And many of you may know this. There's one person she wants, the challenger for this belt, and that is, of course, the boss lady herself, Mayumi Ozaki. So I'm not sure if Ozaki will, in fact, accept it, but we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But for now, we are done with House Academy, so let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. So welcome to our news updates. Now, before I proceed anything else, I want to make it clear there are no developments on this part of the episode with our news updates. So we only have, of course, upcoming events and, of course, updates with WrestleCon and more information on matches for the WWE ID Championship Tournament. So that way you guys can get a clear view on that. Now, let's begin, of course, with our upcoming events. Those who know this, we do have, of course, the Mark Hitchcock Memorial Supershow that took place on the 17th. They announced, Matt Riddle will take on Matt Kako. I don't know who that is, but yeah. So basically, there's that, and then of course the Spark Joshi Puroresu of America with Lady Luck on the 17th of April. The Spark Yoshi Atlantic Championship will be defended. The current champion Sakae will defend her belt against Danny Moe. And of course, marvelous with their Las Vegas show, they announced a men's exhibition match, a 6-man tag team match. Vinny Masario will team up with Crush Boys, Titus Alexander, and Starboy Charlie. They take on Kevin Blackwood, Alan Angels, formerly known as Five, and JAC. Now, we also got the Effie's Big Gay Brunch event taking place on the 18th of April, part of GCW's Collective. There's going to be a 6-way scramble match, or as they call it, the 6-way super gay scamper, or something like that. We have Viperous versus Brooke Havoc versus Sandra Moon versus Jai Vidal versus Anton Voorhees versus Jimmy Lynn Senegal. Then, of course, we move on with some of the non-Las Vegas events. We have RevPro with high stakes taking place on the 20th of April. They announced, of course, the undisputed British Cruiserweight title will be defended. Leo Rush is the challenger. He'll take on the current champion, Will Caven. Of course, we have Stardom's upcoming event, the All-Star Grand Queendom. That'll take place on the 27th. Some of the card has been announced. Let me pull that up for all of you so you can get a clear idea what's the matches for. Here it is. Of course, we have the World Championship in a career versus career match. Tam Nakano versus the champion Saya Kamitani. We have the Wonder Championship. Starlight Kid defends her belt against her own teammate Azumi. The IWGP Women's Championship, Mayu Iwatani defends it against Shuri. The Goddesses, Wing Gori, Hanan, and Saya Ida defended against the former champions and teammates, WFWC, Koguma and Azuki. Then we have the Sendai Girls World Championship, Big Cash, Shihiro Hashimoto defends it against Maika. We have Zuzu Suzuki versus Mei Sita. The Future Championship, we have Hina versus Rane Agami. Saori Anu, Natsupoi, and Aya Sakura will team up. They'll take on the ladies from Sendai Girls, Meiko Satomura and Mika Iwata and Yuna. And then, of course, Miyoko Ota will take on Rina. So that's pretty much the card for that. Then we have, of course, the Canadian promotion, Maple Leaf Pro Wrestling, with Northern Rising on the 10th of May. There's another name that's been added for the 20-man championship gauntlet match. The Sauce, Alex Zane, will be in it. Continuing on, we have Wrestling Revolver with Let Up Cook, or something like that, on the 17th of May. The Remix Championship will be defended. Crash Jackson will defend the belt against AJ Francis. And then finally, West Coast Pro with the When the Lights in the City Go Down on the 20th of April. We have Matt Makowski will be participating. Now for some updates on the WrestleCon. Another name has been added, and this one is, of course, it's MDK All Day, of course. We have Nick Gage. He'll be participating in WrestleCon on Thursday and Sunday, so basically he'll be busy. As you know, we have more names added for the upcoming ID Championship Tournament. The 16 in GCW. Atticus Cogar has been added into a three-way match against Aaron Rourke and Ice Williams. But, however, if Atticus Cogar does win this match, he'll be gaining entry into the tournament. So, basically, that's how it is. And then we have on the 18th with Future Stars of Wrestling in a non-tournament match, we have Brittany Brooke. She teams up with Zara Zakher. They take on Maserati and Zeta Steel. So that's pretty much it, what we have for all of our news updates. So I think that's it. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode coming up. I haven't decided yet, due to the fact I may have to cut the next episode a bit shorter due to some other things. I'm behind on the, of course, Tokyo Pro Wrestling events. I need to catch up with All Japan. They just started the annual tournament, Champion Carnival, which is their version of the G1. So we'll see. But as of right now, anything could happen. So we'll leave things like that for now, and we'll push ahead. So I'm just gonna wing it. So we'll see. So as of right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So goodbye, and have a nice day.